The Pokemon Company has officially revealed the new Pokemon trading card game live. This game is releasing later this year on not just PC and Mac, but also on mobile phones. There are some incredible new updates to the old game, including a better system, a battle pass, and a ranked ladder. But there are also some huge issues that people are not very happy about. You can't transfer all your cards from the old game, the game has heaps of pesky microtransactions, and worst of all, the Pokemon trading card game has no trading? To celebrate hitting 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving away $10,000 for free. You heard that right, $10,000. To give more people a chance, I'm going to give away $1,000 each week for 10 weeks to 10 different people. All you have to do is like this video, be subscribed to my channel, and comment happy 10,000. I know it's a bit annoying to comment, but it's the easiest way for me to pick a winner. Besides, clicking a few buttons for a chance to win $1,000 seems like a pretty good deal to me. Where am I getting this money? Well, everything I make from YouTube goes straight back into these giveaways, and I'm even spending money out of my own pocket. So if you want to support me and allow me to keep making bigger and better videos, you can also check out my Patreon linked in the description. For just a couple of dollars, we can have a chat, and for a few more dollars, you can get personalized Pokemon investment advice from me that fits your needs, and also a shout out at the end of my videos. But you don't have to do all that. Just make sure you like, subscribe, and comment happy 10,000 for a chance to win $1,000 for free. I've also linked my socials in the description, and for each one of those you follow, you get a bonus entry, also for free. So if you haven't already seen, yesterday the Pokemon Company officially revealed the Pokemon trading card game live. Now this video is going to be a bit more laid back. I just wanted to share my thoughts on the new game, because although I think there are some amazing new features, there are quite a lot of issues as well. So firstly, it's important to know that this is not actually an update on the old Pokemon the card game online. It's a complete upheaval and a complete revamped version that they're actually releasing a completely new client for. Now this client is actually coming later this year. We don't know exactly when, they haven't told us as of yet, but it's releasing on PC, Mac, and amazingly it's also coming on iOS and Android, which pretty much covers like most mobile phones, right? Now the new client is not developed by the original developer of the Pokemon card game online. It's actually being developed by the Pokemon Company International themselves, so essentially we can expect a much better game, to be honest. Now I do have a lot of thoughts that I want to share, but I think the easiest way for me to do it is just talk about the pros and the cons, and then at the end we can make a judgment on what I actually think overall about this new game. So in terms of pros, I mean obviously the biggest change is the new user interface. If any of you actually played the original Pokemon TCG online, you would have noticed that the old client was really old and clunky. I mean, it looked like it was straight out of like the 1970s. But this new revamped redesign is much more sleek, graphically it looks better, and it looks much smoother, and overall has a nicer modern feel to it. So I really do think that was a good addition, because a lot of new players that come into the game are going to see that it looks, nicer, flashier, and they're going to be, wanting to stay and play it for longer. Whereas the old one, you click on it and straight away you think, this is old and boring, and it honestly is a bit annoying to get around. Now another pro, I guess, is that most of your playable cards do transfer over. Now some of the older ones don't, which we'll get more into in the cons, but generally speaking, all your main playable cards are going to transfer over. So you're going to be able to straight away be playing your old decks, and you're going to be able to, keep playing what you were playing before. Now another big pro is that they've included a battle pass in this season. I mean, I feel like no new game nowadays is complete without a battle pass, but obviously there's a reason they do it. It's because they're extremely successful. Obviously in the last couple of years, we've seen Fortnite has really popularized this idea of a battle pass, and now every single game under the sun has their version of a battle pass. But I mean, it's definitely a nice addition. So for those of you who aren't really familiar with a battle pass system, essentially what it is a tier system, right? So you start at the bottom tier and you can, complete quests and challenges, or you can often pay extra amount of money to unlock the next tier, and then you keep going up and up and up, which will allow you to unlock more rewards. So these rewards can be like monetary, or they can be like cosmetics, or they can even be just like packs and cards and stuff like that. Now, it really is a good system for a few reasons. Firstly, because it provides a pretty reasonably priced entry into the game. You don't have to usually spend too much to start the battle pass, and this one even seems to be free at the start, which is good because you can slowly build up and get all these rewards. The second reason is that a battle pass kind of incentivizes you to keep playing, because obviously the more you play and the longer you play, the more rewards you can actually get. So in the Pokemon Online game, there actually seems to be a few battle passes. There's like the base tier battle pass, and then there's a battle pass plus, which has even more rewards and allows you access to a bunch of extra things. Another great new thing they're adding is the ranked ladder. Now, a ranked ladder is great for multiple reasons. In the original Pokemon the card game online, there wasn't really a ranked ladder, so you would just have to kind of play casually, which obviously gets boring very quickly. People have been asking for a ranked ladder for so long, and finally we get one, which is actually really nice for a few reasons. One, it actually gives you a nice way to gauge your skill level and see where you're actually at, so you can continue to improve and see how you fare against similarly ranked opponents. And secondly, and probably the most important thing about a ranked ladder, is that it really incentivizes you to keep playing because you want to get better and better and you want to keep climbing the ranks. So I think all of these factors together are going to make this game much more fun and overall enjoyable to play, and I think people will just keep coming back and playing more and more and more. The final thing I wanted to add is that there is a lot more customization and a lot of stuff you can do with your avatar. Although this might not seem like a big deal, I think the more customization the better. If you look at Fortnite, for example, their entire business model revolves around selling free skins. So I'd much prefer that they make money doing stuff like this than have a bunch of pesky microtransactions, which we'll talk about in the cons later on. And obviously one of the best things about this new client is that it will be available on mobile devices. I mean, this is absolutely huge news, and it will allow not only more people to be able to easily get into the game, it just makes it so much more accessible. Like, you can just play it anytime, you just whip out your phone wherever you are, and you can be playing the Pokemon card game online. I think this is an absolutely fantastic idea, and if anything, I'm shocked that they didn't do this years earlier. And I mean, in these photos, from what we can see of the phone UI, I mean, it looks pretty clean. The only thing I would say is that I would prefer if it was horizontal instead of vertical. I mean, if you look at like Hearthstone, for example, they have a horizontal board, and I think it just looks much more nicer overall. But having said that, I'm sure that's something they could easily implement like overnight, so it's not really a huge deal. And one final nice thing is that when you start the game, you're actually given 8 different decks for free. Now, we don't actually know which decks these are. If it's anything like Hearthstone, I'm going to assume these decks aren't going to be amazing, but still, at least for new players, it's something that they can play with, and it's a very nice start to the game. Alright, now let's talk about some of the cons. So firstly, and something I've seen a lot of people complain about, is that not your entire collection will transfer over. So from all the cards you had in the original Pokemon the Card Game Online, you'll be limited to just 4 copies of most cards, but some cards will only be limited to 1 copy. Now this isn't too big of an issue because it's obviously enough to play the game, but I know a lot of people like having heaps of the same card in their collection, so for them it is a bit dog. But at the same time, it doesn't really affect the gameplay, and this is the Pokemon Card Game Online, so you would expect them to prioritize the actual gameplay rather than the collecting. Another thing I see a lot of people complaining about is that cards released prior to the black and white era will not be transferred over, which seems like a really bad idea. Like, for all the people that have tons of cards in their collection from before the black and white era, even though they might not be playable necessarily, they're still nice to have in your collection, and I don't see why it would have been difficult to just transfer them over. Like, it doesn't seem like too difficult of a thing, right? So at the start, the game will only support Sun and Moon Lost Thunder onward at launch, with only the standard format supported initially, but later on we'll get more extended formats in upcoming updates. Now, I think the biggest concern a lot of people have is that there is no trading in the Pokemon trading card game, which seems really confusing to me. I mean, trading is one of the most important parts of this game, right? So why would they cut that out? Instead, now they have this new system kind of similar to Hearthstone, where all your extra cards can be disenchanted for like extra credits, which you can then use to like make other cards and stuff, which is actually really good, but I still don't see why that couldn't coexist with trading. Like, it would be good if you could do both, right? So speaking of credits, how it works is that when you unlock new cards in game, all your extra copies are converted into credits. Credits are one of the game's 3 currencies, which can be redeemed for single cards to add to your collection. So very similar to Hearthstone, if you're familiar with that, you can disenchant your extra cards and just turn them into whichever other cards you like. We obviously don't know the exact logistics of it yet, but we'll find those out probably soon. Another currency in the game are coins, which are used for cosmetic items like apparel and emotes for a player's avatar, deck boxes, card sleeves, stuff like that. And the third currency, which I think definitely could be an issue, is crystals. Now, as soon as I hear that there's a currency called crystals, I immediately think of pesky microtransactions. I mean, pretty much every mobile game has some sort of currency like this where you have to pay extra for it, and every little thing is going to be behind a crystal paywall. I mean, they've announced already that you can use it to earn booster packs, promo cards, and special in-game bundles. You can also use it to upgrade your battle pass to the premium pass or premium pass plus, whatever, and that can allow you additional rewards as you progress through the battle pass ladder. Now, although we don't know yet, that just sounds like there could be heaps of microtransactions, which is definitely an issue with a lot of online games recently, and especially mobile games, so I hope the Pokemon Company doesn't fall into this trap, and they keep their game as free to play as possible, and really focus on the credits and coin system, rather than have crystals be like the big currency in the game. Because the last thing we would want is there to be some crazy pay-to-win model, which would just ruin the game experience for everyone. Especially for people that obviously can't afford to spend that amount of money or simply don't want to on a Pokemon card game. Also, a couple interesting things to note is that with the exclusion of trading, all those digital copies of cards that you used to see selling on like eBay and stuff are going to become non-existent now because obviously you can't trade those cards. And also code cards are going to become a lot less valuable. So if you guys have any code cards, try to get rid of them like very quickly. If you're going to sell them, sell them. If not, come join my Discord. You can give them away. People give away code cards there all the time. and we'd really appreciate you. Okay, so my thoughts overall is that I'm very excited and I'm very keen for this new game because this update was very, very needed. The original client was just so outdated, but this now feels like a new, fresh take on the game, and I can't wait to try it out when it comes out. I'm even thinking of maybe streaming it on either YouTube or Twitch or something, so let me know if you'd like to see something like that. But I think the pros really outweigh the cons, and for most of the cons, I think they can be solved pretty easily. Like, for example, the fact that not all your cards transfer over. Yes, it sucks for a lot of people, but all the playable cards are able to be transferred anyway, and it's just a few of those older cards that you're going to be missing out on. I really do hope they add trading those sometime in the future. I feel like that's just such an important part of the game, but that is definitely something they can just add in a software update, and they can obviously make minor changes and fixes to all the systems as they go along, because, you know, this is just the release version, and obviously there's going to be lots of updates as the years come. And finally, with the microtransactions, I mean, we can only pray and hope that they don't make it anything too crazy, and hopefully they don't squeeze us dry of any more money than they already are. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty positive start to this game, and I'm actually really excited to play it when it comes out. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.